Hello. Buonasera, my name is Matteo Servente, and I am the director of Unless. How many times growing up, around the age of 10, 11, have we dreamed of getting in a car and driving away, going to look for something we want really, really bad? But even more, how many times have we actually done it? This is exactly what happens to Speed. Speed is the brave, determined, and very imaginative main character of our film. He lives with his father, who fixes cars, but who doesn't have the key to his son's wild imagination. So Speed one day gets in a car. He steals it from his father. He realizes, though, that his legs are too short. So he puts on some female platform shoes so that he can finally reach the pedals. And at that point, he checks, he knows that he has a huge bag of candy. He puts on an oversized pair of sunglasses, and he feels like nothing can stop him. He drives a long way until his car fails him. The front tire pops. Of all places, in Jeffsboro, middle of nowhere, USA. The population count at that day reads 593. But the number is going down because that was the last time they checked. No children live here. And just by looking at the faces of the people living in Jeffsboro, you wouldn't even think that they would know what to do with a child there. This is the small town where Lynn lives. She's 80. She's a widow. And since her husband's death, she's been struggling keeping up a good relationship with her son. She works at night at a police station as a dispatcher. But she's not a vampire. Even if Speed, when he meets her, asks her, just to make sure. It's also the town where Ron lives, a 70-year-old barber, who is known just for that reason, because he's the barber. That's all he's done all of his life. He's never left a small town, and he's never been married. But Speed's curious, so he asks him just to make sure. When Speed rolls into town, the lives of Ron and Lynn are turned sideways so that they're forced to look into each other's eyes and finally confront an issue that up to that point they've refused to do. And that is their shared love for Paul, Lynn's ex-husband, and Ron's best friend. While making this decision, they also make a bigger one. They decide to help Speed in his search. But what is Speed looking for? Speed is looking for La Sirena, a mermaid. Or at least, that's what he thinks she is. And he's not going to give up until he can find her, return her those female platform shoes, and figure out by himself whether she was really a mermaid or not. Only then will he be able to start accepting what he already had back home. I think that the idea of this story and its seed was planted when I was Speed's age. And I used to spend a lot of time at the barber shop, and I used to love it, especially while I was waiting for my father to get his haircut. Because that was like having like a front row seat with a view into the world of older people while listening to their stories, mainly from their past, and having a chance to tell them about my absurd projects and grandiose ideas. ever since, I think that child has come with me every time I gotten a haircut. Wherever I've lived, from Italy to France, Australia, and now the US. But more importantly, it feels like I've always had my hair cut by the same barber in front of the same people. And this is what Unless is about. It's about this everlasting, universal transition between being a child and chasing your dreams and getting old and holding on to your memories.
Hi, I'm Ryan Watt, and I'm the producer of Unless. My production company, Paper Moon Films, we develop emerging artists in Middle America that work outside of the Hollywood system. We've produced 4 feature films, all in this micro budget range. And our film is going to be set in the South, where I've lived my entire life and where I know the region and the locations very well. The casting for this film will be very thorough, in particular to cast the young boy Speed. We know that he must be authentic. This is very important to the film, and we've already begun this process. When Matteo moved to the United States, I worked with him and produced his first feature film. And many of the same resources and crew members that we worked with, we will be working with on this project. In particular, the key creative roles on the film will be a blend of American and European sensibility. I believe this will bring a certain aesthetic to the film that has been lost in recent American independent films. And I know that we will deliver a story that will be visually charming while also emotionally compelling.